Hello. You might recall that I've mentioned in the past one particular Twitter account that I came across and I started to follow a few months ago. And I'll leave a link for that video so you can look at that one before this one if you want to. But I'm telling you, you might be more interested in this video than that other one. And why that is, you're going to find out very quickly. So this is the account of Ethical Skeptic. Really one of the very interesting Twitter accounts. And if you haven't come across this account, then do visit. So this account has nearly 145,000 followers. Fairly big following, and this account deserves to have it. Excuse me. So yeah, of course, this is a recording in real time. If I cough or I sneeze, it's going to be in the recording. It's going to be a part of it. Anyhow, so this is a tweet from May the 15th. No New York Times. Here's why people died. And these are the reasons. Being denied treatment for blood disorders, 75% of COVID deaths. Panic disruption and overreaction to alter an election. Panic, disruption, and overreaction to alter an election. The cult of the magical cure. So, if you go to the website, which I have once or twice, then you come across graphics like this. And this is one of them. So number of deaths by man-made U.S. national disaster as of 7 May 2022. So there's war and there's COVID-19 response. So all the ones that are in dark are related to war. The ones in lighter color are related to COVID-19. War of 1812, Korean War, there's the American Revolution, Vietnam War, World War I, and then exceeding in magnitude in terms of number of people who died. COVID-19 response, suicide, despair, nosocomial, latrogenic, and disruption. Exceeded by undetermined cause, R99, cancer, heart, cerebrovascular, nephrotic, excess, non-COVID, natural deaths since NCHS MMWR week 14 of 2021. Then exceeded by World War II. And excuse me, I just drank some cold electrolyte mixed in water. Maybe that's the reason I got this cough again. A little bit, just a little bit. So coming back to the graphic, 464,600. There are no treatments. Go home and sleep it off. Lack of timely treatment for moderate to severe COVID-19, thromboembolic and endothelial inflammation injury to protect vaccine EUA. So, and then the American Civil War. Now, mind you, again, this person is the ethical skeptic. Ethical and skeptical, both things. I've noticed these qualities very much. And now we're about to come to the reason why I'm making this video. So, well, this was the tweet upon which this this gentleman, quoted or retweeted, and this was the original propaganda from New York Times. COVID deaths, the fault of officials who dissented, lack of testing and tracing, lower vaccination rates than other countries. Of course, on Twitter, there's only so much detail that can be given in a tweet, so you have to explore. And that's why going to the website would be a good idea. But now that we're nearing almost a 6-minute mark in this video, you will see that I had the opportunity to have this late night conversation. It was late night here, and I had the opportunity to actually have a lengthier interaction with the Ethical Skeptic. And this video would be a memo. This would be a recording. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is, one, this was one of the best conversations I had an opportunity to have on Twitter in the recent times. Second, it happened about in 1999. No, sorry, not 99. I should say 2019. In 2019, when I was interacting with quite a few individuals on Twitter, later I would come back and I would find that my replies were gone. The entire conversations were wiped out. And I used to think to myself, well, I have put in a sufficient amount of effort to reason with another person. I had some lengthy conversations in 2019, and those conversations, when I would go back, were completely gone, wiped out from the system. So I'm making this video so I'll have a record, and anytime others would come across this video, they would be able to see the conversation. So this was my reply. I agree with your understanding of the situation. It is comprehensive. Not having the benefit of having read the NYT article, I'd still favorably advocate for the mRNA therapeutics, even for their limited time benefit, their time-limited benefit. They are not what conspiracy theorists suggest. Thanks. And yes, I have done a fair amount of research over the last 2 years on mRNA vaccines for COVID-19. And I've used the word therapeutics deliberately because those vaccines are therapeutics. Let's just look at the replies. And I don't think I need to comment very much. I'll just record the conversation here in audio. We have a problem. It is not a theory. We have yet to prove what that problem is, but have proven that it indeed exists. That is the critical path. I understand. And when one would look at individual cases by persons and families, the wisdom of letting each person make their own judgment will be borne out yet again. Data analysis over populations is one thing, and clinical practice is quite another. It depends on how things unfold. A systemic injury is not like breaking an arm or getting pancreatic cancer. In a systemic injury, when one dies, all are likely injured. Glyphosate only makes 45% of the population obese. However, everyone is injured. It takes time to manifest. So the nature of the injury. You see, you already realize you're in conversation with someone who's well-informed, ethical, knowledgeable. So I enjoyed this interaction very much. As you can tell by my reply, that's a profound consideration. It can be seen in two ways, in my view. Either one can wish to see changes that will take a generation or more to achieve by a complete systemic overhaul, and then there are immediate concerns like not losing a loved one where moments count. So there are urgent emergency situations in medicine. Oh yes, our older family members all vaccinated and survived the Delta wave accordingly. However, they've all suffered for a year thereafter with systemic side effects. Now, this is where uh, those who observe data would tend to differ. What is the reason somebody is attributing it to side effects, or is it something else? But I will stick with what I originally wrote in sincerity. This is what I wrote. I'm sorry to hear of your experience, and pardon my brevity, this being Twitter. Consulting a physician would lead to questions. It might very well be discovered that there are factors other than the vaccine. That's something statistics can hardly convey, only consultation. No, the physician in one case, after 3 visits for the maladies, agreed but was not allowed to pen that as a diagnosis. We will get what we demand we get. Not allowed. I'm quite familiar with how the system works. It's regrettable that the ones who suffer are required to stand in judgment as well. My recommendation at this point is to keep a record of all documents and communications. Yes, one has to advocate for oneself. In the case of party-driven oppression, one must collective action or act collectively. At this time, it was getting late. All of this conversation or interaction happened over a rather short period of time, but I can tell you that between every response, the person who maintains the account of the Ethical Skeptic, I don't know the name of the person, but before every response, this person took a few minutes to respond. And I took, where I required, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or a minute to respond. So it was like a very real life written interaction, and thoughtful from beginning to end. Thank you for the time you've given. I wish you well. Well wishes for you and yours too, Sonny. And then Taylor Healy, so nice of him. Good read, thank you both. And this is where it ends. And now I have a record of the conversation. I've told you at what time it happened, and the context, the details, and now I will have a record on my system, and I'm going to upload this to YouTube. You are very much invited to visit the account of Ethical Skeptic. In fact, I will also leave the link for the original tweet that I'm looking at, so you can go exactly to this specific tweet, and or you can go to the account from where you can also visit the website of the Ethical Skeptic. And of course, you're free to and invited to visit my account and my website. So that is it. I'm pleased to have made this record. Thank you for your company, for your attention. Take care, and goodbye.